Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jardon. I am a hypnotherapist, Reiki master, crystal healer, and I am also a generational pendulum healer. So today we are going to be doing the Reiki Crystal Healing hybrid for abandonment. Now, abandonment, that can be a very touchy subject. So if you feel like during, the session that you want to cry, that you want to, elicit some kind of emotion, it's okay. Keep a box of tissues next to you because this one is heavy. And, sometimes we feel abandoned by people that were supposed to love us the most. And it's okay to admit that to ourselves. It's okay to feel some sort of way about it. And so keep a box of tissues next to you. Please let yourself come back to regular brainwave waking patterns. If you go to sleep, if you take a little bit more time to come to, that's okay. If you want to keep a glass of cold water next to you, if you want to put your hands under cold running water after, just to kind of ground, just give yourself some time after this one, because I feel like just feeling the energy, like it's going to be heavy. Like I had a dream about this last night, and I do dream interpretation. It was part of my hypnotherapy training. Um, and so it was like, that's kind of why I was guided to this, because I was going to do something different, but details. I just know that it's really heavy, and it's something that a lot of people struggle with. So go ahead and get yourself set up into a nice, comfortable, safe place. You can lay down, you can sit up, whatever you feel like doing. Just make sure that you're able to relax. And if you welcome the healing, go ahead and get yourself ready. I'm going to finish setting up my camera so that, you don't have to look at me, and you can look at something, a little more abstract, I guess. But yeah, I really hope that this one, helps you in whatever way you feel it needs to come through. I am posting this on Monday as opposed to Sunday because I let myself sleep yesterday. I let my body rest, something that it's been needing for a very long time. So get ready and we'll get into it. I'm sorry, before I forget, because I've been doing this lately, this is my book, Shadow to Light Work, An Intentional Journey of Healing, Self-Discovery, and Purpose. If you want to take a look on the back, you can go ahead and pause it. And then asktohypnotherapy.com is my website if you want to book a personal session, because these are collective. They're a little less generalized, and they're more open to interpretation as opposed to pinpointing specific things. I do tell you what I feel while I move through the energy, but that is always subjective, as to how it actually happens in your life. In personal sessions, I can pinpoint better and get to the root of the situation a little bit better. Whether that's in the hypnosis or in the Reiki or the crystal healing or through pendulum work, it's all really up to the person sitting there in front of me. So I forgot my pendulum. 1 second. So yeah, I had a dream about a time in my life where I had that abandonment wound wide open, and it threw me off. I was very confused this morning when I woke up. And luckily, I was able to, find the symbolism, I think, in very abstract, symbolistic ways. So, after a little bit of contemplation, I could figure it out, but it just really pinpointed that we'll do the abandonment before we move into the anger. So, I'm just going to go ahead and check and see what's going on in the collective energy as far as chakras regarding abandonment. And then I'll go ahead and set my intention. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set my intention, just kind of finish settling in, getting nice and relaxed, possibly closing your eyes. It's totally up to you. And just accepting the healing as we go through. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with some singing bowls. I have smudged and cleared my energy from this as much as humanly possible, but I am part of the collective. So, that being said, I'm going to start with the lower tones. If you're sensitive to sound and you have headphones in, please, I don't know, lower the volume, pull it out of your ear a little bit, but this might be loud. So, yeah. And I'm going to be going to the higher sounds. Okay. I did forget some of the crystals I might want to use. Apologize about the sound of the clinking on the desk. Okay. Just relax. I'm going to be placing crystals, and then I'll go ahead and let you know whenever I'm ready to do the Reiki. If anybody's curious how I choose these crystals, is I will feel hot and cold sensations when inquiring, I guess. I feel the chakra. I've already asked if it needs something, obviously, with the pendulum, but I'll feel it and then place my hand over crystals to feel what it needs. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like, you got to be in tune to the energy. I don't think I've ever used this. I don't even know how to say it. Prehenite? I don't know. That feels pretty good. Double check. I'm going to go ahead and start the Reiki now. If I have anything come through as far as things that I feel like I need to say, I will let you know. So we're going to start off with the soul chakra. And once again, that is the one about 6 to 10, 12 inches above your head. Just breathe deep all the way into your diaphragm. Release through your mouth. Well, obviously in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just release any tension or anything. Let yourself align with the energy. Taking in the Reiki. Embracing the universal life force. Allowing it to go where it needs to. Gonna move down to the crown. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel a lot of energy in there. That overthinking. It's okay, we're gonna do overthinking after the anger. We've got a therapeutic progression to everything. But if you have anything that you'd like me to add to that progression, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And now moving down to the third eye. Moving down to the throat. Deep breath in and a release. Gonna go ahead and move down to the heart now. There's really no rhyme or reason in these collective ones. Usually I try and hold it for as long as it needs to be held for the energy to change, for me to feel a shift. You can't always come back and rewatch. Like I feel the heart chakra releasing right now. Doesn't feel as tight. But everybody individually is different. These are just generalized sessions. Now moving down to the solar plexus. Big deep breath in and out. Something that I feel like I should say is that just because you felt abandoned by somebody isn't because you understand that sometimes people abandon us because they can't be there for us. And sometimes we abandon other people or we create that abandonment wound in them because they don't want to heal, they don't want to change. I have ghosted many of people just because the energy wasn't right anymore. I was growing, I was changing. And they were on the same shit, different day. Quite literally. And I just didn't want to be there anymore. No judgment, nothing like that. Just, I'm not going to go into that environment knowing that that's what I'm going to get when I am trying to get away from that. Sometimes we are not self aware enough. That is also coming up, that one, self awareness. But sometimes we're not self aware enough to understand why people leave us or just why things don't mesh anymore. And sometimes it can create an abandonment wound. But it doesn't mean that you're not worth it, that you're not a good person. Sometimes things just no longer vibe. Like, do I miss the people that I have left out in the cold? You know, some of them. And others I was just so irritated with by the time I left them where they were that I didn't care, to be quite honest. But some people I do miss. Not everybody I've stopped talking to is been permanently removed from my life either. I just needed to do my own healing, figure out where I was going. To put it into perspective, my husband left, and I was a single stay at home mom with a 10-month-old and a 2-year-old. My focus then became on my own stability, and it wasn't anything personal. I just needed to get clear on where I was going. And now I prioritize where I am going, my journey, my path, over going back to old situations that no longer serve me or, you know, aren't a priority anymore. Moving on to the sacral. Sorry. Just sometimes you got to put yourself first. That's all it came down to for a lot of my relationships, and a lot of them were just because I didn't want to be stuck doing the same thing every time I hung out with those people. Nothing against them. I just stopped becoming a people pleaser. As far as the people who I felt abandoned by, I've forgiven them. I've forgiven myself for carrying the weight of that. And I do not place them on that pedestal anymore that they once were on. They are not on the priority list as high as they used to be either. I hope that's making sense. The feelings of abandonment gave me a healthy sense of selfishness, if I could sum it up like that. That's essentially what it is. The self-worth and the self-love definitely helped grow my need for peace and stability for outside influence of any kind. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates with someone. But that's how healed, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. I healed my abandonment wounds by understanding what I needed. And that redirection was God's protection. Whoever God is to you. And down to the sacral now. While I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to do that aura sweep video that I was talking about in, I want to say, the hypnosis video for forgiveness. Or maybe it was the Crystal Healing Reiki hybrid. I don't remember. I think I'm going to be doing that video when we finish up all of the past oriented stuff before I get into the self. I call it the self stuff. But I think it fits there well. And I'm moving down to the earth chakra now. That one is the one 6 to 12 inches away from your body on the foot side of you as opposed to your head. Starting to feel the energy change here, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close out, seal everything in. My master Reiki symbol, and gonna go ahead and double check everything real quick with my pendulum. Remember, you can vent off things while you're aligning with the energy Please ensure that you only utilize one of these sessions per week, because you can send yourself into quite the upset of your energy. Let it acclimate first. Let it, what is it called? Not integrate. There we go. Let it integrate, and be kind to yourself throughout the week, because this one was really heavy and I felt that heaviness moving through the chakras and all that. And just based on the crystals that are here, definitely some heavy energy. Just knowing what these crystals are for, you know. So be kind, be loving to yourself. Remember, you're worth it. Okay. Talk to you next week with the hypnosis portion of this. Bye.